All right, how's everyone doing? Thanks for checking out my channel. So what I want to get into today is something on how I look at life a lot of times. And a lot of times when it comes to doing certain things, it could be a job, let's say, or something that I want to create. I don't look at it as work. I look at it as a journey. And I learned that when making my first or my second film. I made one film, Sore Losers, which is about the underground world of gambling in Chicago. That's like a little plug there. But that was one of the hardest and most miserablest things I've ever done in my life because I had no idea how to make film. This goes back to the late 90s. And just balancing it, shooting it, writing it, producing it, also being in it and casting it, locations, all these things was a nightmare for me. Anyways, fast forward to the second film. I said, you know what, I'm going to make the film I always wanted to make, and I'm going to make it my way. Schedule. If cell phones kind of come out, so I could kind of text, and emailing was more popular, so that kind of made things a lot easier. Cameras were a little more advanced, even though it was still a very ultra low budget film. But I said, you know what? My first film was miserable. I thought it would be the best thing I've ever done, like as far as me doing something for myself, and I felt the worst. And now I said on the second one, I'm not looking at this as work or job. For one, it's what I want to do, but the other thing is I'm going on a journey. What I realized in my first film was I got to be with so many incredible, talented people and family members, friends, and even some actors and all different types of people, where I said, now in this film, let's appreciate all that. Before it was miserable because I didn't know what I was doing. Now I know what I'm doing, or at least to a certain degree. And I just, again, looked at it as when I was going to do it, this is a journey. I am on like a path, and a fun path, not a miserable path. And I think a lot of us in life, or it could be work, it could be being an entrepreneur, it could be even in a relationship, men, women, whatever the hell it is, look at it as a journey, because that's what you're going on. And here's the deal. The end result usually, you know, even when I'm done, say, making a film, or when we even get in a relationship, right? Maybe you end up getting married, or you've been together for 20, 30, 50 years, whatever the hell it is. You know, the journey along the way is what you remember. It's not the end result a lot of times. That's the best part of it. But a lot of us are afraid of the journey. They're afraid because we're afraid of the work, or we're afraid of all the, the effort it's going to take. But that's where it's at. That's what's going to make it worthwhile. That's the fun part. I'm telling you, a lot of us just want things to end very quickly. I do know this on my second film again. I didn't want it to end. My first one, I couldn't wait till it ended. I actually shaved my head and never had hair again because it was just like almost like a release. Plus I was going balder and I was combing it back. I kind of looked like Tony Soprano, but it was like a cleansing. The last day of shooting on my first film, I went and had my head shaved downtown Chicago. I don't know where the hell I went, like in the hotel or Neiman Marcus or somewhere. And I said, that's it. But on my second film, I enjoyed so much of it, I never wanted to end. I was actually adding certain scenes and things, and I'm like, oh, well, money and time, I had to end it. But my point being is I didn't want that journey to end. I wanted to keep going because I knew once it was over, I had to go in the editing room for a long time or have it edited, and then I got to, do all the other things, which, don't get me wrong, I wanted my film to end, but I don't want the journey to end. And that's another thing. Look at what you're doing too as this journey. A lot of things, they don't have to end. I think a lot of times when we do things, we think, okay, I'm going to do this for this amount of time, and then it ends. It could even be, say, my YouTube channel or even my podcast. Yeah, eventually it'll probably end. It can end tomorrow for all I know. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I may change paths or whatever the case may be, but my point being is I'm on another journey, and that's kind of how I think a lot of us should look at our life. Just because one thing ends doesn't mean we can't take off and go somewhere else, and have the mindset and the confidence to say, yes, I can change, I can pivot, I can evolve. All right, so I just really wanted to do a podcast on this because, every time I talk to somebody who wants to do something, even a website, I go through all the, I deal with a lot of young guys or different people like, Rich, can you connect me with this person, and they're doing it, and they're always upset or they're mad. I'm like, first of all, you wanted to build a website, right? Yeah. You wanted to create this, yes. Why aren't you enjoying it? Well, I got all this work, and what did you think it was going to be like? What did you think? It was just, you wanted to end? And then when it ends a lot of times, say they get the website up, now what are you going to do? Now they got another journey they have to go on, is my point. But the thing was, as they look back, they're like, wow, I created this. And it wasn't probably as hard as you think. It wasn't as time-consuming as you think a lot of times. A lot of us exaggerate on how hard things are throughout our lives, or how much, and don't get me wrong, there are difficulties and they are hard a lot of times, but usually the harder to do something to a certain degree, I shouldn't say harder, the more rewarding it is. I'm just telling you. So I'm going to wrap it up there. If you got any questions or comments, please feel free to hit me up. I'm at richcelenza.com. I also have a webpage, Mastering Self-Confidence, where I try to help men build confidence, and along with meeting women, or the woman of their dreams, I should say, along with fashion, wardrobe, fitness, and things in that nature. All right, take care, and I wish you nothing but the best.